But now, without any further ado, it is time to bring on our next guest, my girl, Julia Royston.
Hey, love, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, child. It just
Now,
makes
you
me
know when the
laugh.
season
It's great to be alive. How are you?
girl, I'm staying busy. You heard all of those announcements I just gave.
Child, I saw the church. No, I saw the Dr. Rhonda announcements. My Lord, I got tired watching them. So I'm not going to share mine.
Well, you are the CEO of Royston Publishing, and you have been doing some major things yourself.
Yes. So BK Royston Publishing will be in February 17 years old. And so
Wow.
yeah, it's gonna be 17 years old. And I the more I think about it, the more I'm like, how did we get here? Like, were we really supposed to be here, God? And he's like, you just kept on going, you kept listening, you kept obeying, and so here we are. So
Amen.
BK Royston Publishing is my faith-based, family-friendly publishing company. I have a second one, Royal Media and Publishing, and so that is just where urban fiction is, mystery thrillers, adult fiction is at Royal Media and Publishing. But BK Royston Publishing is where the children's books are, inspirational, devotionals, that genre. It has to, as they say, pass that litmus test. So super excited about all that's happened, all that's moving forward. I think with being an entrepreneur, it's not for the faint of heart. It's
Yes.
not. You well know that with your businesses as well. It is just not for the faint of heart. And making sure that you're doing what you love and enjoying doing it, and then you always return back. I always have to return back to my why,
Yes.
as to the reason why I'm there. And I tell authors all the time, I have to return to my why, and not so much of me doing it, and especially as I'm getting older, as to what this book was about, what this book was for every time. And so my librarian experience, because I'm a retired librarian, technology teacher. So my librarian experience has taught me the curating process, to be able to curate specifically what people desire to read, what they want to read, and then how I can guide them to what I have to offer. Now, I can't do like I used to. I used to just tell you about everything in everybody's book. I can't keep up with that. I support other authors. I interview them. I make sure they get shout outs. I can't buy everybody's book. I'd be broke, because I meet so many authors all the time. But really making sure that that I'm curating things that, and maybe we'll talk about that, really what's going on in the market, even along with what you love to write and what you enjoy writing.
Wow. So let's go back. You said you always have to remember your why. Let's talk a bit about what your why actually was.
Well,
There is.
first off, my first why was just obedience to God, because I thought I was going to be a one book wonder. I had no idea I would write 105. And
Woo.
so, yeah. So I didn't foresee that. So I went to lunch. Well, no, we met at Starbucks, and I'm always going to snack and eat something out of there. But anyway, um, we went and we were talking about, she had published the books too. And she said, have you ever thought about having your own publishing company? I said, oh, no, child. She said, well, how many books do you think you're going to write? I said, probably about maybe two, maybe three, because I really enjoyed the first one. But my first why was a command from God. I had everything in those. Come on, I'll even show the audience. The notebooks, I still have them on my desk. The 80 count notebooks from the dollar store, still, and I still have a stack of them. And back to school, they was on sale for 39 cents. Oh, I had to get several. And so that's where I started. So my first why was an act of obedience. So there's power in that. I don't know where your faith walk is. I don't know where your belief system is, but there's power in obedience. If you say yes once, you never know where you'll be next. So that was all it was. And when I did it, I did a one woman show. And here's the first cover. I found it and I held on to it. That's the first cover. Me, look how young I was. See, oh, no gray hairs, you know. So, but it was a one woman show because I was singing more. I was singing probably 72 events a year. There's only 52 weeks in a year, but I was singing a lot, multiple services. She'll be here at the 8 and the 9:40 and the 6 p.m. on Saturday. So I released the book of poetry with music that I've written because I write music too. And then it was a DVD. So it was kind of a whole live recording, move out of the way. The comedians, I did the same thing, stood on the stage. I had a musician over here on the side, and then I rolled it out. So my first why was obedience. My second why is now I need to make sure that my voice is heard and other voices can be heard in the literary marketplace. You realize there have been people who've been published, no matter how you've been published, but really via technology and the ability for starting with Create Space moving forward, we have really been able to jump into the literary market. And so therefore now I'm looking for, voices to be heard. Now moving even further, I'm looking for, because I love the writing process so much. I'm just addicted to it. That's one thing I'm addicted to, and get really kind of irritated when I don't get it right enough. But now I'm looking for gaps in the market. That's the reason why people say, oh, I can self-publish. You sure can. But one of the things about being self-published is that sometimes you need a coach. You don't necessarily have to pay anybody for publishing, but you're going to need to have someone or spend your time searching what's going on, keeping up with what's hot and what moves in the market or what gaps are in the market. And when I go to events, that helps me. So my why now is, yes, I still want voices to be heard, but I'm looking for those gaps, those breaches, because most of the time, even like with music, they get a sound that sells and they repeat it. Like, well, we can just keep doing that over and over and over again. But then there are certain gaps in the market that really need to be filled and that people are asking me for repeatedly, that I know, okay, when I find a gap in the market, I got to jump in some kind of way, whether I write it or I'm finding an author who's writing it. So those are kind of my why. And then, of course, I guess finally fourth, I just love it. I just love what I do.
Now, how do you choose the authors whom you want to work with? I mean, if somebody, let's say somebody is listening to this show and they say, I think I want her to publish me. Do you have a selection process?
I do. I do. So I have to, and I've said no. And most people are like, well, you're independent. People pay me to do the work. Yes, they do. But I have said no.
And you say no because why?
It didn't fit. It was a thriller, but it was too much for either one of my brands. I couldn't, I have to read through it. Like I say, your name may be on the front, but my logo is still on the back. So I still have to, I can't even go into detail. It was horrific. And I'm like, no, I can't roll like that. Even if it was two adults, it's too creepy. So, it was those things that, it has to be a part of my personal conviction. And so therefore that's usually it. And then sometimes I'm convicted or have discernment that this is just not going to work. This is not going to be a good fit. There's going to be more demand that I have team for. There's going to be more demand. It's the first book and they want to be treated like it's their 30th book. And what they're asking for, I'm like, no, this is not going to work. Your best fit is here and here and here. So
Now,
I have to have a conversation with you first. We have
now
to
let's
talk.
talk a little bit about that though, because there's probably somebody who's saying, well, I'm special too. I'm mainstream too. I know this might be my first book, but this is a good book, and I shouldn't be mistreated just because I don't have 30 books. So let's talk about what you mean when you say somebody with their first book is trying to be treated like it's their 30th book.
Okay, so the people that I'm talking about, when I'm talking about it's your first book and you're wanting to be treated like it's your 30th book, is that it's the people who say, oh no, I don't like social media. I don't want to be on social media. Do you have an email address? No, I don't do email. Okay, so do you teach? Do you coach? Do you speak? No, I don't like to do that. I just want to write and just, we're gonna have some. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking because I have had people. Thank you for calling me on it, because I've had people with first books and have done beyond their wildest dreams and mine too, and done very, very well and turned it into a whole business. But you've got to be willing to do your end, to do your end.
Right.
Some of it just won't fit into either one of my brands. That's usually number one, that it doesn't fit in the brand. And then the manuscript, usually number two, the manuscript, I'm thoroughly confused.
Well, once again, thank you for being on the show. Unfortunately, we hit that top of the hour.
I know, I love it.
Elisa wants to know if there's a link for the Houston Festival. Yes, just go to National Black Book Festival, and it'll give you all the information that you need for that festival. And we will both be there. Yep. And we're looking forward to meeting all of you.
Yay! Looking forward to it.
So very quickly, if there's somebody out there who wants to be published and they want to be published through BK Royston Publishing, do they just need to go to your website?
You can go to there, or you can get on my calendar, talkwithroyston.com. So that is my calendar to schedule a conversation, because I'm all about talking, and I'm all about let me see your vision, let me explore your vision, let's talk about the vision of your book, and see definitely how I can help. And looking forward to it. So talkwithroyston.com. Let's have a conversation.
All right, y'all. That was Julia K. Royston. I told you she had a lot to share, and she did not disappoint, because she never disappoints.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You be blessed, and I look forward to seeing you in Houston as well.